Hey guys, it is time for another book lesson, okay? And I want to take you guys to everything you need to understand the stock market and option trading in notes form. And we are going to look at spotting uptrends, downtrends, and also identifying sideways movement. And if you saw my previous video where I talked to you about 2 simple ways to trade a trend line, this lesson can also be tied into that one. Okay, when you're looking at an uptrend or looking for an uptrend, you're looking for a continued bullish movement to the upside. When you're looking for a downtrend, you're looking for a continued bearish movement to the downside. And sideways movement is no trend presenting itself. It's not going up or down. It's literally just moving in a range. And the most safest way to trade that is to look for a breakout from the range. But you can also tie that support and resistance trading into that range that the stock may be moving. And I'm definitely going to show you guys that, right? But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go in the book. And I am in chapter 8, part 3, and this is identifying trend. In the stock market, trends refer to the overall direction in which the price of a stock or market is moving over a period of time. And the very first one we are going to go over is the uptrend, which is the bullish trend. The price is moving higher over time. Each new high is higher than the last one, and each low is also higher. You ever heard of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows? That right there is indicating that the price is moving upward. That's the uptrend. So we're going to come over here to the charts, okay? So I can show you better than I can tell you. So that way you got your visual. So we're going to look at a quick example, and then we're going to go to an actual chart and look at their price action to see that uptrend, okay? So when you are looking for your uptrend, you want to see this happening. The price is moving up. It pulls back. The price moves up again higher than the previous point from when it pulled back, and then it comes back to create a low, another pullback, but it's still higher than that previous low. It makes another move to the upside. It comes back down, giving us another higher low and a higher high. It pushes up, comes back down. It pushes up and it comes back down. Okay, this is the higher high, the higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and so forth. And you will notice that it is creating a trend, a upward trend. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this little line right here. I'm going to put a trend line here, which will act as that trend line that we're either looking for it to break, for that steam to run out and start making lower highs and lower lows, or this is that area that we're looking to potentially make a move or not trade. But we're not really talking about making moves per se. It's just mostly spotting the trend. But it's definitely important to know that you can use this for entries and exit. Once the stock is ready to start making its way back down, you'll notice that you have a trend line here that you can kind of follow. And once the price begins to break out of that trend line, and then it may come down, and then it may push up, and it may come down again, what are you now noticing? It's broken down, and now it has made a lower low, it's made a lower high, it's made another lower low, the lower high, lower low, lower high, and now this thing is starting to potentially reverse, or it's starting to come a little bit further down, targeting some of these older lows that we had on this uptrend. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come, I am on the 4-hour time frame on the S&P 500, and I'm going to use this to show you guys exactly what that looks like. Now I'm going to kind of come over a little bit, and we're going to start from around November, and we're going to mark this thing up here, okay? And so it won't always be these little mini little peaks. It could be a wider peak where it can go up for a while, come back down, go up for a shorter period of time, come back down. You just always got to kind of zoom that thing in and look for those little peaks so you can be sure that it is making new highs as it's going up. So we're going to bring this trend line down here to this little point here from November 20th, and we're going to run it all the way up here. Okay, and you can instantly see it, and this is what I mean by sometimes it could have a nice little run up and it kind of spreads out a little bit and it leaves that peak before it decides to come down. We started here. Okay, this was that highest point here. and we got a touch of that trend line. We came back up. Now you may notice that this looks really, really close. But when you zoom that thing in a little, you will see that this is a higher peak than that previous one. Does it count? I like to say that it counts because we are looking for higher highs, right? We're looking for new highs to be made along this trend line. So we get another one here. We got a higher low, and then it continues to go up with this peak up here, and we have another higher low. Now, you notice what happened when it broke outside of the trend line? The price came down. Now, it did come back up to retest this level here, but what did you notice about that retest? It is a lower high from this peak, and it came back down. It pushed back up here. It's almost the same here, but these two little points here slightly off, okay? But overall, you can see that the price is continuing to push down a bit, and it's no longer on an uptrend. And honestly, when you really look at this, it sort of gives you a bit of sideways movement to where the price is kind of in a range and it's not going upward. I hope that made sense, okay? So I hope you guys are writing this down. And it's much easier when you draw these things out to help you kind of memorize them and get familiar with them. You're just simply looking for the price to go up, creating those higher highs and those higher lows. You can take that trend line, you draw it, and if a break happens below that, then may be your goal to say, okay, steam is running out, this thing is coming down. If I'm in a call, if I'm playing this thing to the upside long term, it may be time to exit that trade. Now you can spot these things on short term and long term time frame. This is a 4 hour. You go down to the 1 minute or the 5 minute, you can still spot higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And you use the smaller time frame to make short term. Now, let's get into the second one, which is the downtrend, and that's just the uptrend flipped, okay? The price is decreasing over time. Each high and each low is lower than the previous one. Just flipped, okay? You are looking for lower highs and lower lows, just as I was showing you guys here on SPY. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys to Bull, which is Webull Corporation, which is the brokerage platform that you can invest and trade on, okay? Now, almost instantly, usually you can spot these things like the minute you come to a higher time frame, you can instantly see that a stock has been on a decline or if it's been on a nice little run over a certain period of time, okay? Almost instantly. And here you can see that. Like here, you can see we got this high point here. I'm going to put that there. You see that we came down here. We got this next high point here. We came lower. We pushed up again. What is that showing you? Without even having to draw the trend line, you can almost spot it immediately that this thing has been on a nice decline. The highest point that this stock has been is about $79 from its IPO highs. This thing has closed out today at $5.54. The lowest that this stock has ever been. Let's come over here. It's literally getting back to the lowest point that it's ever been. Or should I say it's already there, making a newer low, which is $5.40. That's the furthest down that this stock has ever been. So the downtrend, in a sense, will kind of stop out there because there's no additional data down there at the bottom to kind of let us know where the stock is going because that's the lowest point. Okay, so I'm going to remove all of this. I'm going to take a trend line from here and I'm going to put it here. Okay, and you can see instantly from the flip of the uptrend, it's giving us the same thing. Okay, so we came down, we came up, we came down some more, we came up, we come down, and it's just creating lower highs and lower lows. Okay, and so now just as we were looking for a break below, in order for us to get a little confidence that this can push higher, we want to see a break above the trend line in order for this thing to push higher, targeting some of these older points here, okay? We look to those older peaks as targets for where the price may be going. And that's exactly what we would want to see with Bull. Almost instantly spot these little points here without even having to draw out the line. Okay, this here would give you that will tell you that this thing is on a decline. Okay, you spot it on the 4-hour, you go to lower time frames, you're able to spot them as well. If we got that one out of the way, let's go to the final and third one, which is sideways or a flat trend. Okay, remember, with sideways and flat, it's not going up or down, it's going sideways. Okay, the price stays in a range, moving neither up nor down. Often happens when the market is consolidating. Now, by the fact it's not moving up or down, it doesn't mean that it's not going from point A to point B. A range could be $120 to $125, and the stock just moves between that range, not going on any upward trend, not making new highs. The highs and the lows are usually equal or just about equal. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take you guys to Klarna, and yes, the buy now pay later platform. Now, they recently went public, but I want to show you guys something. This is actually part of a trade that I did on Klarna, where we got a breakout from that flat trend that this thing was moving in. Okay, you notice this here, right in this area here. I'm going to put a line here, and you notice this little point right up in there. You can see where it's been kind of moving in between those two. Now, the same way with the other. The price is up, comes down. It's just playing along inside a range. And it won't always just go straight up and down to that same little area, but it overall, same price point, back to back to back. Okay, and then we're going to put a trend line here. I'm saying a line here. Okay, and then we can kind of get a idea for what we're working with. And when you're trading this, you can also look at support and resistance trades, to where if the price is at 120 and it's going back and forth between that exact same two price points, you may can enter a call at 120 and then you exit at 125, where you know it's going to stop out of. And in that case, right here with Klarna, right, if we come back here, once it got inside of this was back in November 18th of 2025. You notice what it did for months before it finally broke out here, back and forth between these exact same levels over and over again until it finally decided to break out here. This particular range is approximately $32 to $27. So what we're going to do, get an info line, and let's see what type of range we're working with here. Approximately a $4.79 range. Now, you aren't new to options, or if you are new to options rather, and you don't quite understand the delta, if you have a decent delta and you can catch a $4 move, and depending on how long you're holding this thing, you catch a full $4 move, you can still see some decent profit. Even though it's not trending in any particular direction just yet, you still have opportunity there by using the support and resistance method of trading. You're entering a put at resistance. Okay, this is resistance here. So if you waited until it got, let's just say here, and you got into a put to ride the price down, you will exit here. Now, yes, it did break out, but you didn't quite know that it was going to break out just yet, because this past data lets us know that it's been in a range since November, all the way here to when it finally broke out in January. So it stayed there for a few months before it decided to come out. You use that range as your method of entry and exit to make a decision on your trade. And that's that. So we've looked at the uptrend, the downtrend, sideways, and flat movement. There is opportunity there across the board, even though sideways and flat seems bad, but it's not. You just have to get in at the right spot and make sure you get out at the right spot, where you know that the price is going to stop out or reject. Okay, so I really hope that this helped. Draw these things out on a sheet of paper so that you can get familiar with the movement, and when you come to the charts, you can spot them almost instantly. And it gets easier the more you spot them, the more you execute on them, and the more you pay attention to them, you will spot them on a higher time frame, whether a monthly, whether a weekly, everything down to a 1 minute to a 5 minute or a 15-minute time frame. You will spot them across the board, and you will see opportunity there to get into a short-term or a long-term trade. So that is all that I have for you guys on this particular lesson. I really hope that this helped, and I hope that you can put what I've shown you guys to work, and also pair it with my previous video showing you how to trade a trend line. You can apply that to this very lesson, and not only are you spotting them, you know how to execute on it. If you want to grab the book, wherever you may be seeing it, just find the link somewhere, or if you're on YouTube, find that link down below in my description. And with that, I will see you guys in the next